Fuck it, we'll do it live! Live from Crawford Studios.
It's CC. Yeah.
Woo-woo. Yes.
Yes. So before it was New Hope, before prequels, before Disney, before the lore, it was just Star Wars.
Yes.
And today we're starting the whole saga in release order.
Yes.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yes.
Let's do it.
This is going to be, and this is the lead up to our who? Into the what?
So what we're going to do is every other episode, we are going to talk about each Star Wars episode because we all love Star Wars. We're going to, every other episodes, and we're going to do it in release order.
So you'll have homework.
Not in chronological,
Not chronological order, right.
Not chronological order, because here's the thing. If you were to watch it, if you were going to talk about it, and we're going to start talking about the prequels, you're not going to know what's going on without background. So we want to start it from the starting point. Maybe there'll be obviously some Star Wars fans, but maybe there'll be people who don't know much about Star Wars.
Dude,
Maybe they can learn a few things.
A whole lot of Star Wars fans.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now remember, when Star Wars was first released, now a lot of people don't realize it. It's like one of the old OG retcons is that fact that it was originally called Star Wars.
Right.
And then I think when Empire Strikes
20th
Back
Century
came
Fox.
out, they went back and called it Episode 4, New Hope, which might have confused a lot of people to say, wait, why are we starting an Episode 4?
Right.
Which later,
we get
in
it.
the 90s, late 90s into early 2000s.
Right.
We'll get there.
Yes.
Right. Right now.
Right now. But imagine seeing this movie in 1977 with no context.
Yeah.
Right?
I did.
So you guys did. I didn't because I wasn't born till 81.
I did see it.
I was, I think when I was born, I think the only movie that came out from the original trilogy was Return of the Jedi.
Okay. Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So there was no prequels.
Right.
There was no Skywalker saga.
Right.
There was Luke Skywalker, and that's the only Skywalker anyone knew. Right.
That's right.
Yep.
And no one knew who Vader was before he became legendary. He was just a villain.
Yeah, just that big bad guy.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And then, of course, as you watch the 4, 5, and 6, but right now we're just going through 4 for the moment. But yeah, that explains it, right?
So
some sense, no?
Oh, yeah. So now when you saw it, Lou, right, in the theater.
Yes.
Right?
I remember.
So Tom's question was, imagine walking in there and then just seeing the movie with no context. Do you remember how you felt when you left the movie theater?
Oh, I was pumped. I loved it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember
it was a great
too.
fucking movie.
Hell yeah.
I know I was pumped and I loved it.
Yeah.
Any movie that was good, I loved going to the movies in the first place.
Right.
My family did it. Of course, I did it, right? So, and it was just nice. When you see a good movie and you're a kid, well, how old was it? So when did it come out?
77.
Oh, 76. I would have been 10, so I was 11 years old.
Yeah, yep. Exactly. And it was, and I saw it, I was a little bit younger because I was 7 years old. I was going at 8 years old when I saw it. And man, dude, that movie was, what?
Yeah, it blew your mind because you've never seen anything like that.
And at the time, what was like the cultural impact?
Well, it didn't.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
It did. I think when it hit the second movie is when you really started
to pick it up. Okay, fair enough.
So we're picking, like I said, we're picking Star Wars because it's the original trilogy. We want to start off with the original trilogy.
Right.
That's the basis for all Star Wars.
Right.
We don't go in episode order, so we're starting with that.
Right.
It's the foundation of the entire Star Wars universe.
Right. Yeah.
So it's important that we start with the original trilogy.
Right.
Instead of starting with episode 1. We're going to go in release order.
Right. So now you're looking at, here it is where A New Hope, you get this kid who is, who wants to get off,
right?
Huh?
Is it New Hope or is it just Star Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars, A New Hope.
Yeah, but that was later though, wasn't it?
No. Star Wars is A New Hope.
I know that, but that's not how it came out when it came out of the movies.
I thought it did.
No, it didn't. It was just Star Wars. I don't remember ever saying New Hope. Wasn't that the whole point of you were bringing up, Tom?
Yeah, when it came out, it was just called Star Wars.
Was it? I could have sworn, bro. See, a Mandela effect, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, we spoke on that shit and it just stayed in my head. I could have sworn it was A New Hope back in the day, too. My bad.
He just said all of that.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
It was just called Star Wars.
Just Star Wars. That didn't come until after when the other 3 came out. Is the way I think
crazy.
It happened.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
now
the New Hope because now you saw all the other the first 3 movies.
I could have sworn I saw A New Hope on that shit, man, back in the day. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. So go ahead.
No, yeah. So that's the whole reason we're going to do it. So yeah.
Okay.
So
let's do it, man.
Yeah, of course. So the other movies that were around at that time, So let's give a little background of what's going on here. So the other movies that were out at the time were Jaws.
Right.
Yep. Great
Rocky.
movie. Yep. I love that movie.
Taxi Driver.
Yep.
I was too young for that one.
I don't know if the first Godfather or the second Godfather.
I think it was the first one.
The first one.
Because the whole thing. So it was the whole saga. I think it was around the first one.
So you had all these movies out, and then all of a sudden you had space wizards, robots, and laser swords.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's probably, I think, why it was that it was so attracting.
Yeah, right.
I guess. Attractive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just, because it was that sci-fi, you know, we didn't have, we didn't, what else did we, I mean, because we didn't have anything else at that moment. Like you said, this was the craziest one.
For those movies that were out at that time.
Yeah, for that kind of stuff. You know?
It wasn't the whole, the whole time.
Everything with the super drama stuff, Taxi Driver.
Exactly.
Nobody saw Taxi Driver. That shit was a super drama out of
Jodie Foster was in that movie. Yeah. That was a crazy movie. You know what? I gotta be honest with you. I've never seen that movie.
Oh, no kidding.
I never had any desire to watch it.
Yeah. It's a cool flick, man. It's one like, whoa.
I've seen parts of it.
Right.
But anyway, going back to what Tom was talking about with Star Wars.
So I was saying, so like then, having that fantasy, that space fantasy, you know, it's like, whoa, we could travel in outer space, lightsabers, what? The Force?
People lost their minds, man.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, joking, you know, like,
light speed,
yeah, ludicrous.
Wait, actually, do they ever call it light speed, or do they just call it hyperspace?
Yeah.
Yes.
In Star Trek, it's
light speed.
No, it's not.
No, it's not warp.
No, warp speed.
It's warp speed in Star Trek, but no, isn't it light speed with the Millennium Falcon?
Maybe.
Or what is it? Look it up. Come on, man. You gotta get it right. If we're talking about Star Wars, we gotta be correct.
I know. Why are we having a brain fart right now, bro?
Just hyperspace.
But no, hyperspace. I think. I thought it was just hyperspace. Yeah. But you're right, Tom. To have that like space wizards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're saying
exactly.
Like,
so it was a big different. It was a different type of movie, and I think that's probably what attracted to different, because there was other sci-fi movies back then, but none of them, aside from Star Trek. But I don't know if they named the movies then. Was it still only
No, it was afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was still a TV show at that point. So like, there wasn't any really big sci-fi movies. They had some, but like it wasn't. They were always like this. Yeah, like, you know, like before that, it was like the stuff that you watch on Mystery Science Theater that they make fun of, like the cheesy, cheesy sci-fi movies back then. A lot of them were really cheesy back then. This was like the first one that I think people really took seriously and kind of broke through that like weird, obscure thing. It broke through that.
Yeah.
And I think it had the magic formula because they were like, we're going to do a sci-fi movie, but it's kind of like a medieval movie.
Yeah, right.
You know, you got the swords, or like more, I would say they're more like samurai. But you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Because they were fighting
Jedi
like that.
And Sith, which they didn't
name
Sith back then. It was just the dark side and the light side. But they were kind of like,
they were that samurai stuff. Yeah, samurai ninja stuff.
You know, the Darth Vader helmet is modeled after the samurai the Shogun helmet or whatever.
Right. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's kind of, it's kind of got that samurai element into it.
Well, even like with the way that they fight, it's more martial arts than, a fist fight or,
and even
like a samurai type.
Even the name Obi Wan Kenobi, that sounds like it could be like Japanese a little bit, right?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
does have that? Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that definitely had to like attract people,
and all the things that they had in the movie. It's like, can you remember what your favorite gadget was in the movie besides the lightsaber?
Gadget?
So like the lightsaber. Then you had the cars. You had the droids.
But wouldn't lightsaber
he had that
lightsaber be a weapon though, not a gadget, really?
Well, I'm going to say gadget because I'm just saying things in general. Just because you had, I said you had the floating cars.
Yeah, those.
You had
cool. That would be nice.
You said the lightsabers. You had, the telephone. We already know. The communicators and stuff like that. The laser guns. It wasn't the bullets.
These were a lot different, though. Didn't he have a whole handheld when they talked?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like just a little.
And then you had, all the soldiers were dressed up like full
with
gear,
that, and there was like a whole arm, that whole head to toe armor,
with military gear.
Right? Yeah,
I think that's kind of where they got that.
I'm sure.
Let's make them look like an astronaut.
Yeah,
space Nazis.
Space Nazis.
Basically, that's what they. I mean, that's people.
I've heard that before too, but I forgot about it. I'm not gonna lie, that's funny.
Sorry,
but
especially in the sequels, they really look like with the
right. Yeah, they had the black uniform. They had the red uniform.
The guy yelling villain giving that speech.
Yes.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, but
yeah. But so like I said, and it's even with the droids and stuff, you had the different kind of droids, that help fly, the little things that they put them in the X-wing fighters, and
the droids were cool to have.
Right? Yeah, that would be cool. So now here we go, fast forward, and here we are where you see movies like iRobot, and people that now they can have Alexa in their house. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like, to me, like getting closer to having that kind of stuff.
Never know.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind having a little R2-D2.
I'm sure if we looked it up, we'd probably see it.
Dude, you know what I would do to have a little R2-D2 that I can just put up in my car and it could tell me where the cops are and what traffic is looking like, outside of Waze.
Your phone does that all for you. You just put it on your phone and it's there.
Oh, yeah, but it'd be fun for it to be, an R2-D2. Yeah. I'm just saying, I would love that.
Follow you around all the time?
Yeah, why not, bro? That'd be fucking cool. Go on crazy adventures and shit.
Yeah, that'd be so funny. So, so now you got the opening scene, right?
Right.
The opening scene is, that was the one that changed everything, right? You got, first of all, the crawl. That was, I don't think anybody's ever done that kind of thing. Like,
no.
Maybe they had some words flash.
Right, the thing, but this whole thing was just like
that.
Oh,
you
mean, right.
And that scene really changed opening scene for movies. I feel.
Right.
That really, and so you got that. And then all of a sudden, got the giant Star Destroyer.
Yeah, just coming in.
Right.
You're seeing this massive
ship.
Yeah. And it's shooting this little, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, and that whole scene, what I'm saying? Like, you got the tiny rebel ship, you got this massive Star Destroyer, and then right away, Vader.
Yeah.
You see the villain, and, first time I saw the movie, I thought like Vader was like a robot. I thought he was like, technically he is a cyborg.
Right.
He's
machine.
But I thought he was honestly, I thought Vader was like there was only almost like Grievous. Like I thought maybe there was just that breathing machine was all mechanical.
Right. Okay.
Like mechanical lungs.
Yeah.
And just like a brain in there.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was, or there was like just well, there was a mangled body in there, but I was thinking like worse actually.
Right.
Or like, just like there's, like I said, just like a brain or something like that. But there was a lot of mystery behind the character of Darth Vader. Most people did not know anything about this guy.
Right. Because there was like, you see this huge ass dude walking in.
We just know he comes in there and he's just commanding stuff.
Yes.
Find them and destroy them.
Yes.
That's, I think that was his first line maybe or something like that.
Right.
And he's got Leia.
No, find them and bring them to me.
Yeah.
Bring me the droids.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Bring me the droid.
Yeah. So it was like, because he needed R2-D2 and 3CPO.
That's right.
So that's right. Because they were the ones who were delivering the message. They want to know where Obi Wan was.
Right.
The plans for the Death Star.
Right. And that too. The plans for the Death Star were on there too.
Our only hope.
Yes. That was it. You're our only hope.
Tell me, Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
You're my only hope.
And they kept repeating. Yeah. That was great.
I can't help but think a quick sidebar of when the episode of SNL when they were like spoofing like the tryouts where different actors were playing. They had Barbara Streisand. Tell me, Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
You're my only hope.
That shit was funny. Damn, that's a throwback there, bro. Oh my God.
Man. I remember
that was so long ago. That is too freaking funny, man. Holy cow, man. Yeah.
So, and the cool thing about that opening scene, right? It tells you right away who the bad guys are.
Right.
Who the rebels are and how powerful the Empire is.
Right. Yeah. Because they just came, they for real kicked in the door in the beginning.
That movie, they did a really good job of world building, like fast.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they did.
You didn't have to like figure out too much. Like that opening scene, like pretty much told you the whole basis of the movie.
Yeah. Right. Because I think there was in the next scene with Luke on Tatooine.
Yep.
So yeah.
With him and his aunt and uncle.
Right. Oh, I want to go hang out with the guys. With my friends. Oh, Luke, go and turn that field. I'm like, what?
And one of the things that I wish they didn't leave out in that movie, one of the deleted scenes is him and his friend.
Yes, that's right.
Luke has a friend, right? And on Tatooine or whatever, you see him again
later on.
Yep. And he's with the rebels.
Yep. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know why they left it out, but they have their reasons.
They were trying to bring it. Think of how long that movie is, bro. It was long back in the day.
That's true.
Then when they turned around and they did the
back then that was a long movie.
They added the scenes. It was longer.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. It was about, I think it had gone up to like 3 hours. It was two and change, and it originally came out. And then they kicked it up. It was like it was about 3 hours when they had it in the mid-90s, when they brought it back and they put in all those,
right.
All the deleted scenes and whatnot, all the other good stuff.
So yeah, so that whole movie was so awesome like that. So, but yeah, so the characters that made it work, right?
Right off the bat.
So you got Luke, right?
Right.
Farm kid. He's on that whole hero journey. So you got the whole story arc with him.
So now here's the thing for me though. Yeah. He didn't know he was on a hero journey. He just wanted to get off, like, he just wanted to get out off the farm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do we say that it's a hero journey right off the bat?
Not right off the bat.
Okay.
So we're just saying what made the movie work.
Okay, yeah.
Because,
gotcha.
Because he goes from like this farm kid to like now he's on like this quest.
Or how does he come across the droids again? How does that happen?
That's where you got to watch the other movies.
No, it tells you in the first movie. He finds the R2-D2, and remember doesn't he go to find?
He had R2. R2 was with him in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. He had R2, and as far as we know so far,
C-3PO and they were together from the beginning,
right? So that then he gets them because they came in late.
Remember they escaped,
right, and then they landed in the
so how
sand.
Does Luke come across them? Is what I'm saying.
The sand people.
The sand people.
They had taken them, and then they escaped from that, and they found Obi-Wan. So the sand, and then Obi-Wan knew where Luke was.
Yeah.
And then that's how they got to him. He's like, hey, Ben, how's it going? Because Luke had gone to Ben's house.
Right.
Or Ben's
didn't
cave.
He save him? Because they went after Luke, didn't Luke get knocked out and then Obi-Wan kind of stumbled upon him? Isn't that what happened?
No. Obi-Wan was watching over Luke.
Remember?
He knew Luke, and he would come through. He was the crazy hermit guy from down the other side of the desert.
Yeah, because remember, we didn't even know anything. We didn't know he was a Jedi.
Right, we didn't know anything.
We didn't even know what Jedi were. Yeah.
Right,
we know nothing. Was like an old man. He was like, the crazy old man.
Yeah, the crazy old man down the road or whatever. And then he went to go and get some stuff from the sand people. And that's how he came across the droids, because his uncle needed the droids.
Right.
So then they had turned around and the droids came back.
So the thing that made it work, like I said, so he went from a farm kid to this guy this kid on like a hero journey, right?
Right.
Then you got Han Solo.
Yes.
Right? Han Solo, the space smuggler, rogue energy. You got that. Who shot first, Greedo or Han?
Yeah. Remember that?
The debate, who shot first? But, they showed that scene in the cantina.
That was a great scene, too.
and they're, that whole scene with the gun and everything.
Yeah,
like, we're finding out, like, this, he's got danger. This guy, he's
that guy.
He's that guy. He's a smuggler, Yep. And so they got the whole cantina scene, right?
Right. Leia.
And then that's another. You got the strong Leia from the strong. She's a strong Leia, strong leader from the start.
Right. Yep.
So you see right away she's right in that front opening scene. She's a total badass.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And then as the story comes on, she remains a badass through the entire
through the whole
Star
thing.
Wars
except
series.
that one time where he forces her to tell him where.
But he tortured her, so
right, yeah.
And still badass.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about when the general was doing it to her, and he was in the Death Star, and he says to her, "Tell me where the rebel bases are going to be, blah, blah, blah," whatever it was.
Did she let anybody out?
And then he's all right. He was going to blow the planet up, and then
right. That's right.
And she told him what it was, and he did it anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yes, that's right.
What's his name?
Remember
Tarkin.
Yep.
The old man?
Yes, that's right. And they blew it up.
Funny thing about him, by the way, he apparently was like the night.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher said that like it was kind of hard to like fight with him on scene because he was so nice and such a gentleman and such like a really nice like grandfather type guy.
He was a good actor then, man.
That's you're a good actor if
he had you believing he was that guy.
He was a So
yeah.
So, and then another character that made it work.
The mentor
was Obi Wan. He's got the whole mentor archetype. Old.
Yes, sir.
He's got wisdom. He's a wise old man.
Right.
Yep.
And he's seen some shit.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Like there's no he's weathered. You know what I mean?
Because he's so calm. Like he's seen some shit. Like this is light stuff.
And jump ahead of the series, but we find out that like the reason why he's so old looking, because you find out at the time that from when we see him in the prequels to then, it's not a lot of time, and he's really old because they say the dual sons aged him more from having.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I thought it was the using of the Force made you a little bit older, depending on how much Force you were using.
No, that's the dark side.
Yeah.
Really?
Dark
That's what it was?
Yeah, no, the
Because
side,
I could have sworn that's what Yoda had said.
Oh, but I read that it was like because
okay,
because the two sons aged him.
Okay,
I guess that's the excuse.
No, that makes sense. I mean, you know
but,
a little bit of sometime in the sun makes everybody's skin all wrinkled and shit. So.
And then the other character that made it work, of course, is Vader. He was pure intimidation.
Yeah, all day long. Mean? Yeah, he did. He scared the hell out of everybody, made them do things. Yeah, he would walk on deck.
Yeah, I mean, and he was just choking people out. Yeah, it just.
Yeah, without even touching them, using the Force to choke just person out.
Force choking people.
Choke that motherfucker out. Get his ass. Yeah.
And then I love how in the later movies, like, you find out how strong he was Force choking people that weren't even in the same...
in the same room.
It wasn't even in the
same... in the same spaceship or nothing. He was serious with it, bro.
Yeah. But you learn that later on. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
You know what I mean? How could you not when you're talking about
Don't forget the droids. Those two were characters as well.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. They were.
They made the movie.
They did. They helped out a lot. They were good supporting staff.
Between the two of them,
was hilarious. They were always funny.
He would talk to him, hit him when he'd.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah. How dare you, R2?
And again, like I said, the good thing about Star Wars is that, like, they set the precedent so fast in the movie. Everyone's personality is instantly clear. You know what's going on. There's no, like, it's not like cloudy, like, and so that was the thing that really made that movie work, besides the fun and the sci-fi and all that.
Right. Then it started to get serious because
it's like when the movie starts to start that's like where you then the cantina. Cantina scene. That's what we said before.
What's Obi Wan is what I'm looking for.
The reason why, so that is like one of the most important scenes in the movie.
Right.
Suddenly the universe feels so big because now you got all these different species there. It's not just humans now because up until that point, you really didn't see, aside from the Sand people, you didn't see any other, I don't think any other non-human species. No, because human intelligence. Now we're talking about UFO,
and not even in the not even in the opening scene when Darth Vader goes into the spaceship to go look for the droids. I don't think they showed.
It's just
the stormtroopers and a couple of the other rebel soldiers.
Yeah,
and they didn't show any other alien or whatever. They were all human.
Yeah.
And so that's true. That was the only spot.
So you got a canteen. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, word. You're like, what?
There's a lot of different species hanging out here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when people, I think, felt that they wanted to travel the universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when it was like, what?
That's when the universe, there's aliens everywhere, bounty hunters, smugglers, and criminals.
Yep. Now, see, that reminded me of, like, that was the Wild Wild West. You know what I mean? That was kind of what you saw
when... the space version of it.
Right, a space version of the Wild Wild West,
Oh, man. What is that line from Obi Wan? There's nothing more than the scum of villainy or something. What's that line?
I can't remember it.
I remember about Mos Eisley.
Mos Eisley,
which is the town that, if no one knows, that's the town where the cantina is.
Right. Yeah.
There's nothing more scum and villainy or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I know
the worst of the worst are in this place.
Yeah. Exactly. That part, I think, yes, definitely. I don't think, I know that's what started to, you really wanted, like, now you're starting to get vested, on what's going on with Luke and Ben. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you said that's where he ends up meeting up with, what's his name? Oh, yeah. These are not the droids.
Oh, yeah, that's when they first go.
Yeah.
That's the first time,
Yeah.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. These are the droids we're looking for. Yeah. Go ahead, get out of here.
And that's like right away, and that became pop culture right away. Jedi mind tricks. People used to say that
the
shit
Jedi mind tricks all day long, bro. But that's what I'm saying. That's when we started to become more vested in who these characters were.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because, like, wait, he could do what? How did he just change them up like that? So the other guy
you first learn that he has power.
Right, yes.
And then it started that's the first thing you learn.
Exactly. What does he do? He takes somebody's
with the thing.
And he looks like a wizard, too. So you're like,
he does.
He's old and he's got the robe.
Right.
Like, he's a space wizard.
Yeah.
He's like a Tibetan monk.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, but he knows all this kung fu and freaking swordsmanship.
Yep. Now, sidebar too, did you ever see the stop motion on that part, the cantina part?
No.
It used to be on Adult Swim, the Seth Green thing.
You mean...
Shit, I can't remember it, but it was funny because the one, so the...
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken right? So they're sitting there, and the one you can't understand what he was saying, and he's like, and the robot chicken, he's saying, come on, I want to get out of here, I just want to have one drink, and the guy's like, oh, come on, we're gonna have a few drinks, and then that's when Luke goes over there and says, my friend says he can take you, and he's like, in the captions reading, he didn't really say that. Yeah, it was freaking great. He lost his hands. You got to see it, bro. It was so funny. If anybody sees Robot Chicken, you got to watch that Robot Chicken cantina scene. No. I don't think it's on anyways. I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't watch it like that either. But
so you got that, right? So the first time you get in the cantina, and it's the first time meeting Han Solo, like I mentioned before, and then you got that scene they show with him and Greedo,
right? Yeah.
Who shot first?
Right.
So who do you think shot first? I want to know who shot first.
I say Greedo did.
Who?
The Han didn't shoot first. Yeah, Greedo shot first, not Han.
Yeah.
That's what I say, because Han had it under. He was kind of like sitting back, and he was like,
and it's funny because that's the whole gun under the table thing.
Right.
They've done that ever since that movie. They've done that a lot in movies.
Yeah.
Now with the gun under the the gun under the table.
Right.
I've seen it in movies where like a guy's got a fake hand and his real hand on the table. I don't know what movie that was.
What movie was that? I think that was
It was a more recent movie.
Yeah. Shit, man. 007. Not 00. Yeah, not 007. Yeah, Mission Impossible.
Oh, Mission Impossible.
Yeah, not 007. Mission Impossible. That he had that. He did that. That's funny. But like you said, a lot of movies now. That's the thing. Matter of fact, in The Godfather.
They bite off. Of course, things bite off one another.
Yeah.
They use something.
But they did a lot of original stuff is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they did.
That's what made it so unique.
Yeah.
Even just these little details.
And that's the crazy part, man. It was the beginning of so much cool, so much great, in other movies like that.
And it was at the perfect time. Well, I was 11, so.
Right.
And I was probably, I don't remember when it came out. When did it come out? What was the actual date that it came out on?
Dude. Jeez.
Like when did Star Wars release in the theaters?
7.
It was probably, I'm going to say this summer, probably.
Yeah.
It was probably summer release.
But go ahead, Tom.
So the next thing is we're going to talk about is the Death Star. Now, the Death Star is probably a villain if you think about it in and of itself, even though it's an inanimate object. It's not a living being, but like that thing was so ominous. I mean, could you imagine a weapon, a space station, the size friggin' moon?
Right. Yeah. It was a whole freaking planet.
Moon-sized weapon that destroys planets.
Right.
Scary is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. It was May of 77.
May. Okay. So right before the summer.
Right.
Okay. So that was the lead up to the summer, setting the precedent for the summer.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I just turned 11.
So you got this moon-sized space station that could destroy planets, right?
Right.
And the guy who's running it is just this cold, mean, we're talking about Tarkin. Yeah. And this guy, and the thing is too, that this guy's so mean and cold that like he even is in charge of Vader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You find out that this guy is Vader's essentially, because again, I don't think we saw the Emperor until the second movie. So we didn't see, and by the way, they didn't call him Palpatine.
No,
just the Emperor.
Yeah, just the Emperor.
He was known as Palpatine until the prequels.
That's right.
So he was just the Emperor, and he wasn't in this movie. So this guy was Vader's boss. So like that's how you're learning the whole like chain of command thing.
Right.
The whole like kind of like they're fascists. They're like space. That's why I say space Nazis.
Yeah,
They're
Nazis.
These fascist empire people.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's
kill you with without any.
And he was just so like, and like I said, he was like so good at playing that character.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He played it the way it was supposed to be played.
Oh yeah.
And
Vader's
supposed
there. To hate his ass.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then, and the scene too, that like, again, we're talking about before is Leia watching her own planet get destroyed.
Yep.
And he was so evil, like he tricked her anyway.
Yeah.
And that's why you learn that these people are not trustworthy. They're evil and they will do anything.
Yeah. Yep. I'm telling you, bro,
and
that's what I'm saying. That you felt that. You felt that like, oh my God.
And the thing,
blew it up.
And the thing that worked, like we use this term space Nazis, but like this was what, 20-something years after World War II. So it kind of like people felt that more. Way. You know what I mean? You know, like
they definitely identified with it that way.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, you felt that shit. You felt bad. Like, you just found out about how the Force works just a little bit in the movie, and you felt like I felt that planet blow up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you felt that emotion. You know, my God, that movie was just amazing. It was it really was. I believe it was ahead of its time. You know, a lot of the ideas, the thoughts of what a lot of these, what aliens, you know, people from other planets look like, these humanoids look like.
Yeah, because they just like went to town with all these different looking characters, especially like I said in that cantina scene. Like,
dude, you felt that shit. You know, like I don't know. I guess that I think gave people. It just changed how they thought about things. You know what I'm saying? It just made people see things different. I think it gave a different kind of appreciation to different cultures.
Well, it just
in all honesty,
right? And it opened up things.
Yeah,
more so than
it's
the different types of things that you wouldn't normally think about.
Right. Because, you know, you didn't think of, you know.
And then everybody wanted to do it.
Right, yeah. And then everybody wanted to be a Jedi. You know, only a few kids wanted to be,
Some people want to be the bat.
Yeah, a bunch. Oh, everybody wanted to be Han Solo. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, everybody wanted to be the cool guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was the cool guy.
Yeah, he really was.
Luke, and people wanted to be Luke because Luke was the, he was like
the underdog. You know, nobody thought that he was going to, like, I mean, I tell you, I probably pretty much, I mean, I don't remember exactly, but I'm saying, like, now, I would have bet that Han Solo was going to be the hero. You know what I'm saying? Not Luke. You know, that Luke was going to fall off and he was going to be the, you know, the co-star kind of thing, you know? I was expecting Han Solo to be that guy because...
Well, he kind of was in a sense because he helped out in the movie, but of course, it wasn't aimed towards that.
Right, you know? So that shit is...
And then you have the whole, you know, Obi Wan versus Vader, right?
Right.
Now, that's the cool thing about that is because the scene is small, but it's powerful, right? Where they're fighting each other. He, you know, the thing is now you're learning like that, like this, they know each other. Like these, you know, these two characters, important characters, they have history. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
They're like, we meet again. Like, shit is about to go down.
You know? Hell yeah. But don't forget, but Vader, but Obi-Wan was like, he's here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's right.
So he already knew. So that's when he's like, wait, who's here? What are you talking about?
Because that's because we're still learning about the Force.
Right, still learning about the Force. Yeah.
Vader felt him immediately.
Vader felt him and Obi-Wan felt him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Obi-Wan felt him right away.
He's like, you know, like, shit. Something's not, man, we're in for it now. Like, you know, we're going to have to do this shit kind of quick.
So you're learning that, like, the Force has, like, that clairvoyance.
Right. Yes.
Stuff like that. You know, they're like psychics in a way. And that's another thing. They're like kind of like space psychics, you know, like you got Obi-Wan, these are not the droids you're looking for.
Yes.
They feel each other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think what I like is the first one, Star Wars, the first one we saw, the lightsaber fight was okay. At best. But when they came out with the updated version, how it would really probably would have been.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Remember I sent you that where they actually have that fight and they're just like throwing each other around in that area where they had the fight, you know, they're throwing shit at each other and using the Force, throwing each other back and everything. It was like an epic freaking battle, man. Like, you know, like these two were going at it.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I'll say this. I was kind of upset even back then that fight scene was so quick. You know, between Obi-Wan
because then they didn't, I don't think they knew, because it was brand new.
Right.
I don't think they really got into that deep into it as far as the way it was going to be. But then later on, they realized,
when they remade
we need to make it look like some kind of art or something, you know.
Right.
So even though that scene is short, right?
Right.
So, you know, you notice that Vader respects Obi-Wan, even though they have history, even though they clearly are enemies at this point, but you know they respect each other. So that kind of makes you wonder, like, they have history and they don't say that they're friends, but like I said, the way they're talking to each other, you know they have some history that they might have used to be friends. You kind of can get that inclination a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
That they might have like been friends before.
Right.
Or knew each other somehow.
But then
weren't enemies, even at the very point. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I'm wondering though if that was more like, I mean, me now thinking about it, you know, if that was more, you know, samurai code, ninja code.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That there was a respect.
Yeah.
Because of what it was.
Figure things
so
out.
then that was the Jedi code.
Yeah.
Right. That was the Jedi code.
And then you got Obi-Wan sacrifice.
These guys are masters,
himself,
you know?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So that's another important scene that happens there. Obi-Wan sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
And, you know,
but he didn't.
But he disappears.
Right.
So like people were, wait, how come he didn't die? Why does his
body
strike
me down now, I'll become more powerful.
No, then you could ever imagine.
Right. He said that line, and then we're like, oh, like,
right.
Maybe some people were thinking he disappeared
up in front of him.
Yeah.
And then some people
what the fuck?
Some people were probably wondering, like, he said, drop that line, I'll be more powerful. Maybe they were expecting like a giant, like, something.
That's what
happened.
I was.
Yeah.
I was expecting that crazy shit. I was like, yo, what's going to happen now?
They didn't know, Force Ghost.
Yeah.
I was thinking powerful, but now, but once you start learning about the Jedi and Sith, you obviously wouldn't turn into something big.
Yeah, right. Right.
But
again,
that's not the Jedi way,
right. So just watching Star Wars, I'm with you. Like, you would have thought something big was going to happen.
And, Luke feels the loss.
Fucking hot box.
You can feel it, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, right. He blew it. He had him. They almost made it to the fucking to the ship, and he's like, "Bird, you dumbass, shut the fuck up." Like get in the ship.
That whole scene, it's crazy how mythological that scene ends up being. It's like such a important scene in that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, because that's where he starts his journey,
right? And Ben is talking to him. Now he had Ben in his head,
but not yet.
He the voice
in his head.
Well, that's
right. Well, that's what I meant. I meant that way.
Right. Well, that's where I want to get to next.
Yep.
Right. So the next part is one of the more important scenes that happened in the movie was the famous trench run.
Yes,
with Luke. So you got Luke again.
Mm-hmm.
They're on they leave Yavin 4.
Right.
That's where the rebel base is. Right.
Yes.
And so. They're doing this whole attack run, right? And that is that's when you find out when you go use the Force.
Right? Yeah. Well, because he had
ship. You mean right?
Yeah, right. Because they want a Death Star to get ready to blow up the Death Star. But he had told them, right? Yeah, like that little the ball. But see, when Luke was training, when they first got on the Millennium Falcon,
and he's got that little training,
right? Ben tells him use the Force.
Right? Maybe we made him wear the helmet so he couldn't.
Right, so he couldn't see anything. He was blind. Keep in mind. Said this way he could feel the Force. Use the Force. And then when they were in the trench run, that he was supposed to feel it. That's when he took the targeting thing out.
The crazy part is you got these rebel ships just dropping.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the TIE fighters.
Yeah, the TIE fighters.
He's just blowing everybody up. No, they weren't.
And then you got Vader. He's got his special TIE fighter. He's got the TIE Advance. We find out later down the road.
That is what it was.
Heard him, like,
yeah.
I think it was TIE Advance 2 or something like that.
His ship was like super souped up.
Yeah. He had the plush seats and the air conditioning. And
remember, he gets
shot, the radio.
He does get
shot. Surround sound.
Right. Yeah, he got shot and it threw him out.
And it throws him off, right?
Yeah.
And he winds up bringing it back.
Bring it back, and yeah. The buzz. Yeah, and
then.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You first. No. I was gonna say what you were gonna say.
I would say, and then you got, Han returning, like that last
second. Go ahead, kid.
He has a change of heart.
Yeah,
because he was gonna leave. He's take the money and
he was gone, bro.
Yeah,
he was.
I mean, he was gonna be gone forever. You know what I mean? He took the money and that was it. Cause that's what he was. Something last minute kicked into him and he wanted to.
It was
fight
Chewbacca.
He never even mentioned Chewbacca
in his head, and it just kept haunting him. And he's like, "Forget it. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We gotta go. We gotta do it live. That's what happened.
We gotta do it live.
Chewbacca, like you said, we never mentioned Chewbacca, but Chewbacca, I think, is what
probably
Chewbacca was his conscience.
He just kept exactly.
Yeah, Chewbacca was his conscience all day long.
It was the whole concept, the way they did the movie.
Yeah,
it was a good movie.
Laugh it up, fuzz.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yes, but it was. But it said using the Force. I think for Luke, that pretty much being his first time of doing it on his own. That's what just basically sets up for the rest of the movies. You know what I'm saying? To me, anyways.
Absolutely.
Thinking about it now, but
so why this movie still works, right? Why episode 4 holds up.
It's the beginning.
But I mean, why it still is a good movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Even now when I watch it, I love it.
Again, because it's a simple story, right?
Right.
There's not a whole lot. It's not overcomplicated, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who the bad guys are, right? Like I said, we mentioned, who the bad guys are, right?
Yep.
You got the strong characters.
Yep.
Got
every character
is a strong character. All the main characters. Yeah.
Who's the bad guy?
Yep. Yep.
You got the bad guys, and you got different levels of bad guys.
Yep.
Like I said, you got Tarkin.
Yeah.
You got Vader. Like
you got Jedi.
Yeah.
And the effects were so cool. That we didn't even really get too much in the special effects. That was like,
but back then,
that was way ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back
then, the way they had to do it. Now It's so much
and they used the practical effects too. They mixed in practical effects and some of the special effects. Special effects were very new at that time. The way they were running them, but they also did a lot of practical effects, like what I mean, like the puppets and
right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Listen, what in the when they were stuck in the no, that was the other movie. Nope, wrong movie. Second one.
No, don't jump into this.
Yeah, no, I can't judge this one. The fifth one.
Didn't Hansen have something?
Yes,
the puppets.
The puppets. He had all the puppets in there,
and you really see it when he gets episode 3.
Right,
with the when you're on Jabba Hutt's palace.
Right. Yeah, that was freaking great. Yeah,
that was like such a Jim Henson character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
The other thing that made the movie work is that it had great pacing. You know what I mean? Like the movie,
it kept
flowed so well.
Yeah, because it kept switching to a different.
Yeah,
what's going on over here?
Yes.
At this moment.
So it wasn't just the story, but it was the way they did the movie.
Yeah.
And of course the storytelling was mythic. Like again, you got the space samurai.
Yeah.
You got.
Yep.
Space Nazis.
Yep. And what's crazy is that I've heard
it just blew up, man.
Fascists, samurai versus fascists, but there's dark samurai and light samurai.
But I've heard people talk about it being a Bible story. You know what I'm saying? Like having the same thing as the Bible.
I've
heard people that have talked about it being.
You could see it that way.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but everybody could pick it how they want to make it, to make them, like, just for comparisons, just so many things. Like I even hear people that have compared it to The Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Like just that whole idea, just how, the family was. Yeah, space mafia. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It came one offer, it can't refuse. That was Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. I was just going to say, they were, he was a criminal. He was a crime lord.
Right. Yeah, he was. He sure as hell was.
We find out later that, he comes from a very long line of crime families.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what they did. They were.
Yeah.
That's what they were. They were just, that's just what they did. You need something, you want something.
The Gaudis.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Right.
Pretty much. Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, that I love that movie.
And I like the way they ended it because it left it off because you knew it was going to be another.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And you looked forward to seeing the second one.
Hell yeah.
Wow, where's this story going to go?
Right. Yeah, man.
Because Vader didn't die. Tarkin and the Death Star blew up. But Vader got out.
Yeah, so you knew it was going to be and then the thing, you weren't sure what kind of, if it was going to be like a revenge, you know what I mean? You didn't know if that was the end of the Empire because we still didn't know who the Emperor was or where the Emperor was.
Strikes Back.
Yeah, and that's that was for the next one.
Great movie for titles.
Yeah.
So, man.
That's going to be, that's the next episode.
They digitalized that movie too later on, didn't they?
They did what? I'm sorry? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
They enhanced the movie?
Yeah, so when they brought it back out, all 3 of them, they did.
Jabba the Hutt was in the first one when he meets up with Han Solo by the ship, remember?
Was that what the thing was?
Remember he was in it, they added him in later when they
Oh, no. Yeah.
So all that stuff in there.
Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, they just basically took what was on the cutting room floor and put it back into the movie, is what they ended up doing, and then just making it look better. Yeah.
So as I said, the Empire Strikes Back, which is going to be our episode 2 weeks from now.
Yep. Yes.
So
that'll be the next podcast.
We'll be discussing that. We'll be learning a little bit about Vader's evolution and how the trilogy changed cinema.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Special effects, storylines, just how they built the characters up to. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
It was good.
This is great.
Especially when you when you're growing up and you're watching all that.
Hell yeah,
you already grew up with sci-fi to begin with, and
hell yeah,
all the things you were watching, and then this thing comes out and you're like, what?
I love this shit.
But then everything took off. Don't forget about on the end of this. That's when all the other things started. Star Trek started coming back out.
Right.
They did a motion picture, and then they came out with the Wrath of Khan.
Right.
So everything. They started biting off each other. It's like, they're doing the space thing. We got to do the space thing. And then it just started going, you know what I mean? So it just created more stuff, which was awesome.
Yeah. I think that's what made it freaking, that's
just, everything just expands off of it.
Special effects in movies, just movies as a whole. But that shit to another level.
Until next time.
Yes. With that, thank you all for watching. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
And use the Force. Use the Force.